You're eating your protein. You're trying to stay active. You are doing everything the doctors have told you to do, but you still feel like you're getting weaker. Your muscles still ache and your energy is still fading day by day. Why? What if I told you the problem isn't what you're putting into your body, but what your body is desperately missing? Today, we are going to expose a silent epidemic that is robbing millions of seniors of their strength and independence. It is a hidden hunger, not a hunger for calories or even for protein, but for specific crucial micronutrients that are the true spark plugs for your muscles. This hidden hunger could be the real reason your muscles are vanishing, and we are going to show you how to fix it starting right now. To guide us through this, we are so honored to have Dr. Shigeki Hinohara with us. Doctor, thank you for being here to discuss this vital topic.
Thank you, Ben. It is a pleasure. And before we begin this important conversation, we must establish a very important principle for everyone watching. Your dinner plate should always be your primary pharmacy. The most powerful medicines are found in real whole foods. The supplements we will discuss today are simply helpers. They are for when the food pharmacy cannot provide a strong enough dose to correct a deep deficiency. We always begin with food.
That food first supplement, second philosophy is the perfect foundation for this discussion. And that's the balanced approach we'll take in this masterclass today. Dr. Hinohara will guide us through 6 of these critical missing pieces that your muscles might be starving for. For each one, he will explain its role and the best food sources to find it in. I will then add the simple science of why it is so important for you. We will also discuss when a supplement might be a wise choice, and we will answer your most common questions to bust some dangerous myths along the way. We believe it is a blessing to have this detailed knowledge to truly care for our bodies. If you are ready to finally address the hidden hunger that might be starving your muscles, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. And this is a deep dive into your health that you will not want to miss. Okay, doctor, let's dive into the first of these missing pieces from our diet. What is the first nutrient that our muscles are experiencing a hidden hunger for?
The first is not technically a vitamin, but it acts like one inside our bodies. It is a compound called coenzyme Q10, or simply CoQ10. I think of it as the spark of life inside every one of our cells, and it is especially important for the cells that require the most energy, like our heart and our muscles. The best food sources are organ meats like beef heart and liver, and fatty fish like salmon and sardines.
The spark of life is the perfect way to describe it. To get a little scientific, inside every one of our muscle cells, there are thousands of tiny energy factories called mitochondria. CoQ10 is an essential component of a process inside those factories called the electron transport chain. In very simple terms, your body cannot create its main energy molecule, known as ATP, without CoQ10. It is a non-negotiable part of creating energy. And this becomes critically important for the millions of seniors who are on statin medications to manage their cholesterol. Statins work by blocking a pathway in the liver that produces cholesterol, but that exact same pathway is also responsible for producing your body's CoQ10. So the medication, while helping your cholesterol, can unintentionally lower your levels of this critical energy molecule, starving your muscles of the energy they need.
This was the exact situation for a patient of mine, Arthur. He was a 76-year-old retired engineer who was taking a statin medication as his doctor prescribed. He came to me in great despair. He said, "Doctor, I am so deeply tired that I can barely walk from my living room to my kitchen. My legs ache with a deep, burning pain that never goes away." His primary doctor had told him the pain was just arthritis, and that the fatigue was just part of getting old. but I suspected the statin was depleting his CoQ10. With his doctor's full permission, we started him on a CoQ10 supplement. The change was not overnight, but after 6 weeks, he came back to my office. He walked in without using his cane. He sat down and told me, "The burning pain in my legs is gone. I feel like someone has finally turned the lights back on inside my body." The statin was doing its job for his cholesterol, but it was starving his muscles of energy. The CoQ10 gave that energy back to him.
That is a life-changing story. It's so important for people on statins to know about this. Now, when people look for a CoQ10 supplement, they often see two different forms, ubiquinone and ubiquinol. Is one better than the other for seniors, doctor?
That is a very good question. Ubiquinone is the basic form. The body must then convert it into the active form, which is ubiquinol. For many older adults, or for those whose bodies are under a lot of stress, this conversion process can be less efficient. For this reason, the ubiquinol form is often easier for a senior's body to absorb and use directly.
That's great, clear advice. And typically, a dose of 100 to 200 milligrams per day is a good starting point for general support. But for those on statins who are experiencing muscle symptoms, clinical studies have used up to 300 milligrams, always under a doctor's supervision. It's also wise to look for a formula that is dissolved in an oil or one that includes a black pepper extract, as this can help the body absorb it better. Now, if CoQ10 is the energy, what is the next missing piece, doctor?
The next critical nutrient is vitamin B12. If CoQ10 provides the energy for the muscle cell, vitamin B12 ensures the health of the communication line, the nerves that tell the muscle what to do. The best food sources for B12 are animal products, meat, fish, eggs, and dairy.
This is so critical. Vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining the health of the myelin sheath, which is the protective insulation that wraps around all of our nerve fibers. You can think of it like the plastic coating on an electrical wire. If that insulation gets damaged, the signal from the brain to the muscle becomes slow and weak. This is what can lead to poor balanced muscle weakness and that frustrating tingling feeling in the hands and feet.
This was exactly the case for another patient of mine, a wonderful 80-year-old woman named Eleanor. She was falling frequently and she felt very weak and unsteady on her feet. Her family was very worried that she was becoming frail and that her sharp mind was beginning to decline. But she was eating a good, healthy diet. Her doctor very wisely decided to check her vitamin B12 level. It was extremely low. The reason was that she had been taking a common medication for acid reflux for many years. These medications are very effective at reducing stomach acid, but that stomach acid is necessary to absorb B12 from your food. We started her on a B12 supplement, and within 2 months, her strength, her energy, and her balance improved dramatically. It was not old age. It was a simple and correctable nutrient deficiency.
That is a great point about how medications can interfere with absorption. And another common question I hear is, but I eat meat regularly, so shouldn't my B12 levels be fine? What do you say to that, doctor?
Not necessarily. As we age, our stomachs naturally produce less of the stomach acid and a special protein called intrinsic factor, both of which are required to absorb B12 from our food. So, even if you are eating plenty of it, you may not be able to absorb it into your body.
That's why the form of the B12 supplement matters so much here. For many seniors with these absorption issues, a sublingual B12 that dissolves under the tongue or a B12 spray can be much more effective. These forms bypass the digestive system and are absorbed directly into the bloodstream under the tongue. It's a wonderful example of how we can use modern science to work with the body's God given systems, even when parts of that system are not working as well as they used to. Doctor, we've talked about the spark plug for energy with CoQ10 and the health of the communication lines with vitamin B12. Let's now move on to our next two nutrients, which I think of as the fundamental partners for building both strong muscles and strong bones.
Yes, we will now discuss vitamin D. I must be very clear. Most people hear vitamin D and they immediately and only think of their bones. This is only half of the story. Vitamin D is just as critical for the direct strength and proper function of your muscles. The best food sources are fatty fish, like salmon and tuna egg yolks, and milk that has been fortified.
The science on this is absolutely fascinating. For years, we didn't know exactly why. Now we do. Your actual muscle tissues are covered in what are called vitamin D receptors, or VDR. You can think of these receptors like keyholes that are located all over your muscle fibers. Vitamin D is the key that fits into these locks. When you have enough vitamin D, the key is able to turn the lock, which helps the muscle fibers contract properly and with more force. If you are deficient in vitamin D, many of these keyholes remain empty. Your muscles literally cannot perform at their full potential. This is why a major study found that seniors who supplemented with vitamin D to correct a deficiency had a 20% reduction in their risk of falling. It wasn't magic. Their muscles were simply stronger, more responsive, and their balance was better because the receptors were finally getting the vitamin they needed. Now, doctor, this is another area where there is so much confusion. We have warned our viewers in the past about the dangers of taking too much vitamin D. How do people find the right safe balance?
This is a very important point, and the answer is very simple. The only way to find the correct balance for your individual body is not to guess. You must ask your doctor for a simple blood test to check your vitamin D level. If the test shows that you are deficient, your doctor will tell you the correct and safe amount for you to take to bring your levels back to a healthy range. If you are not deficient, you do not need to take a high-dose supplement. It is that simple. You must test, not guess.
That is the most responsible advice. Now, a common question I hear from patients is, can I just get all the vitamin D I need from being out in the sun? What do you say to that?
For a younger person with healthy skin, perhaps. But as we age, our skin becomes much thinner and far less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. In addition, many of us spend more time indoors or wear sunscreen for skin protection. For most seniors, especially during the fall and winter months, relying on sunlight alone is often not enough to maintain a healthy level.
So the key is to test your levels. That's great advice. Now, what is the next nutrient in this foundational pillar, doctor?
The next is a mineral that I often call the great relaxer. It is our fourth nutrient, magnesium. We have discussed it before on this channel, but its importance for muscle health cannot be overstated. It is found in many wonderful foods like dark leafy greens such as spinach, as well as almonds, pumpkin seeds, and black beans.
Magnesium is a true workhorse mineral in the body. It is involved in over 300 different enzymatic reactions. For our muscles, it does two absolutely critical things. First, it is essential for creating ATP, which is our body's main energy molecule. Simply put, no magnesium, no energy. Second, it acts as the natural partner and counterbalance to calcium. Calcium is the mineral that tells a muscle to contract. Magnesium is the mineral that tells a muscle to relax. If you are low in magnesium, your muscles can get stuck in a partially contracted state. This is what leads to that feeling of stiffness, soreness, and those terrible, painful leg cramps that wake people up in the middle of the night. Now, another very common question from our viewers. When they go to the store, they see so many different types of magnesium supplements, oxide citrate glycinate. It's very confusing. Does it really matter which one a person takes for their muscles?
Yes, it can matter a great deal. Magnesium oxide is very common and inexpensive, but it is not absorbed well by the body. Much of it passes right through you. Magnesium citrate is absorbed better, but it is well known for having a laxative effect which some people may not want. For the purpose of muscle relaxation, calming the nervous system, and helping with sleep, the form I have found to be most effective and gentle on the stomach is magnesium glycinate. It is a form of magnesium that is bound to the calming amino acid glycine, which makes it particularly well suited for these purposes.
This level of detail is so important for people to make wise choices, and we are so grateful to be able to share it with our community. It is a blessing to connect with all of you. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. Doctor, we've covered the critical nutrients for energy, for nerve communication, and for the fundamental function of our muscles. Now let's talk about the actual structure that holds the muscles together and the fuel for their immediate power.
Yes, our fifth nutrient is another one that people think they know, but often for the wrong reason. It is vitamin C. We are not discussing it today for fighting colds. We are discussing it as the glue that holds your entire muscular system together. It is absolutely essential for the health of your tendons, your ligaments, and all the connective tissue that anchors your muscles to your bones. While oranges are a good source, you can find even more in red bell peppers, strawberries, kiwi, and broccoli.
That is such an important distinction. Strong muscles are useless if their attachments are weak. As we've discussed on Healthier Daily before, vitamin C is non-negotiable for the body to produce high-quality collagen. Collagen is the primary protein that makes up all of these strong rope-like connective tissues. Without enough vitamin C, these tissues can become weak and much more prone to strains and injuries. Now, doctor, a very common question people have is, can't I just drink a big glass of orange juice every morning to get all the vitamin C I need?
That is a very common and unfortunate mistake. While orange juice does contain vitamin C, it has had all of its natural protective fiber removed. This means it is a very concentrated source of sugar that can spike your blood glucose and cause inflammation. It is always better to eat the whole orange. The fiber in the whole fruit is nature's way of protecting you from the sugar. Nature provides the solution and the protection in the same beautiful package.
Eat the whole fruit, not just the juice. That is a great rule. Now for our final nutrient on the list. This one is going to surprise many of our viewers, doctor, because most people associate it with young bodybuilders in a gym. Let's talk about creatine.
Yes, it is very misunderstood. For a senior, taking creatine is not about building big, bulky muscles for show. It is about restoring functional power. It is about having the strength to stand up from a deep chair without using your hands. It is about having the power in your legs to catch yourself if you start to fall. It is about the quick, immediate energy your muscles need for life's daily tasks.
That is the perfect way to explain its purpose for senior health. The science behind it is that creatine helps to fuel something called the phosphocreatine energy system. This is your muscle's primary source of immediate explosive energy for any movement that lasts just a few seconds, like standing up, lifting a heavy bag of groceries, or pushing yourself up if you've fallen. As we age, this immediate energy system can decline. Supplementing with a small amount of creatine helps to recharge it. Now let's address the two big myths right away. First, isn't creatine just for young athletes? And second, will it hurt my kidneys?
To answer the first question, no. In fact, a growing body of research is showing that it may be even more beneficial for older adults. Numerous studies have now proven that a small daily dose of creatine, when combined with some light resistance exercise, significantly improves strength and helps to preserve muscle mass in people over 60. To the second question, for people with healthy kidneys, decades of extensive research have shown that the standard low dose of creatine, about 3 to 5 grams a day, is very safe. Of course, as with any supplement, if you have any pre-existing kidney issues, you must speak with your doctor before you even consider it.
It's wonderful that we have so much solid research now to show how we can safely use these tools. It allows us to be good stewards of the strength and vitality we've been blessed with at any age. Doctor, this has been an incredible masterclass. You've given us a list of 6 powerful and often overlooked nutrients: CoQ10, B12, vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin C, and even creatine that can be true game changers in the fight against age-related muscle loss. What's so powerful about your food-first approach is that it helps to address the hidden hunger that so often fuels sarcopenia. By focusing on a nutrient-rich diet and then using supplements wisely and safely under a doctor's care, we have a complete and responsible strategy to fight back against muscle loss. This is a kind yet very effective approach to managing sarcopenia. For anyone watching who is worried about losing their strength and independence, understanding how to prevent sarcopenia is one of the most important things they can do for their long-term health.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Your body is not your enemy. The weakness that you may feel is not a punishment. It is a signal. It is your body asking you for a missing piece of the puzzle. Your job is to become a kind detective for your own health. Work with your doctor. Pay attention to how you feel and provide your body with the simple nourishment it is asking for. It is never too late to give your body the tools it needs to be strong again.
To be a kind detective for our own health. That is a wonderful way to put it, Doctor. It's about taking responsibility and being a good steward of the body we've been blessed with on this journey. And of course, the most important part of being a good detective is working with your professional team. Please remember that our conversation today, especially when we discuss supplements and dosages, is for educational purposes. You must speak with your own physician or a registered dietitian before starting any new supplement regimen to ensure it is safe and right for you and your specific health conditions. If you found this guide empowering and helpful, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information. And be sure to share it with a friend or family member who is struggling to maintain their strength. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free, and it ensures you will join us for more deep dives into your health. And for our community discussion today, which of these 6 nutrients were you most surprised to learn is so important for muscle health? Sharing what you've learned in the comments below helps our entire community grow. Thank you for being with us. Be well and be strong.